Vito Joseph LoGrasso is an American professional wrestler, of Italian origin. Best known for his work in World Championship Wrestling as Big Vito and more recently World Wrestling Entertainment and working for their developmental territories, Ohio Valley Wrestling and Deep South Wrestling as Vito. Career: Independent and World Wrestling Federation. LoGrasso started wrestling in 1990 on the independent circuit until being approached by Now Wrestling Federation, based in Japan. He worked there for a while and then returned to the States in 1991 and became a jobber in the WWF. He wrestled on early editions of WWF Monday Night Raw as Von Crush, a generic big wrestler who began with a subtly evil foreigner gimmick. He faced such superstars as Bret Hart and The Undertaker. Vito then went on to work in the USWA and WWC using the name Skull Von Crush. Extreme Championship Wrestling. After a lot of success in those promotions, Vito met up with Extreme wrestler Taz at Johnny Rod's training school, who was able to get him a tryout in ECW. When he started in ECW, he was still using the name Skull Von Crush. He later changed his name to Vito the Skull LoGrasso and became a member of Darbaldi's stable, who in the storyline claimed to be an offshoot of a real-life New York street gang, and as such took issue with New Jack calling himself a gangster, and began a feud with him. Vito worked a couple of shows with the now-defunct LIWF with Billy Alimo and was on the Junkyard Dog Memorial Show in a casket match at the Elks Lodge in Queens, New York. World Championship Wrestling. In 1999 Vito left ECW for World Championship Wrestling, where he teamed with Johnny the Bull as the Mamalukes. Managed by Tony Marinara, the Mamalukes captured the WCW World Tag Team Championship twice, and were, in storyline, jointly awarded the WCW Hardcore Championship. After being awarded the championship, however, Vito and Johnny were forced to face each other in a match to crown one champion, which Vito won. In WCW, Vito was billed from Staten Island, New York, which is where he actually grew up. In December 2000, the Mamalukes reunited and teamed together until March 2001, when WCW was acquired by the WWF. After the acquisition, Vito was one of the wrestlers who was lost in the shuffle, neither becoming a part of the invasion nor taking one of the large ticket buyouts offered. Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. Vito also had a brief run in Total Nonstop Action Wrestling in late 2004 with Glenn Gilbert, Trinity and Johnny Swinger as the New York Connection. His only feud was with Irish Pat Kenny, in which they exchanged victories. World Wrestling Entertainment. In early 2005, Vito worked dark matches for the now renamed World Wrestling Entertainment and signed a contract with them in June. Vito made his debut on WWE television on the August 6 episode of WWE Velocity, where he helped Nunzio win the WWE Cruiserweight Championship from Paul London. Together Vito and Nunzio reformed the full-blooded Italian stable, acting mostly as a tag team together on Velocity with scattered appearances on SmackDown. Vito and Nunzio turned heel once again in March 2006 under an angle in which Vito announced that he wanted to be recognized as a godfather, and he would wear a blazer and glasses. Beginning in May, various wrestlers such as Orlando Jordan and Paul Burchill began approaching Nunzio in backstage situations and spreading rumors that they had, in storyline, seen Vito in public places in various forms of cross-dress. Nunzio originally wouldn't hear of any such thing until the June 2 SmackDown, when Vito came down the ramp in a dress to collect Nunzio after losing a match. The next week, after arguing about Vito's clothing choices, the two former friends faced each other in a match which Vito won after hitting Nunzio with the Code of Silence. Not long after, Nunzio joined the ECW brand, leaving Vito on SmackDown. alone. The idea for the gimmick seemed to originate on The Sopranos, who also had a character named Vito who had recently been outed as a homosexual. Regardless of his passion for cross-dressing, Vito continually explained that he was a straight man, including one instance of asking diva Ashley Massaro out on a date while wearing a dress, to which she agreed. After this, he began to have more fun during his matches, running around and waving his dresses and otherwise interacting with the fans, turning him once again face. As the gimmick took off, various people began kayfabe voicing problems with a man wrestling while wearing a dress, including color commentator John Bradshaw Layfield and wrestlers Montel Vontavious Porter and William Regal, who threatened SmackDown General Manager Theodore Long with a sexual harassment lawsuit to get out of a match with Vito. At the same time, WWE began to censor any incidents of Vito's dress raising and exposing his buttocks. Despite his detractors, once he started wearing a dress, Vito began an undefeated streak which didn't end until over 4 months later when he was defeated by Elijah Burke, after interference from his partner Sylvester Turkett. On November 2, 2006, WWE.com announced that Vito would be posing for the April 2007 edition of Playgirl. On May 15, 2007, Vito was released from his WWE contract. Deep South Wrestling. Vito defeated champion Bradley Jay and Ryan O'Reilly in a three-way round-robin match to win the DSW Heavyweight Championship. On January 25, 2007, almost immediately upon winning the title, he underwent a gimmick change, losing the dress and instead adopting martial arts-style trunks, a headband, and wrestling without shoes. When asked on DSW TV, he announced that he changed his style of dress because his opponents were citing it as a distraction and claiming his clothing was the reason they were losing to him. The look was briefly shown during the Lumberjack tag match on Sunday Night Heat at WrestleMania 23, between Carlito and Ric Flair against Chavo Guerrero and Gregory Helms. Vito was grouped with the face Lumberjacks. He held the title until February 22, when he lost it back to Bradley Jay. Independent circuit. Vito continues to travel the world, performing in France, Italy, Malta, Nepal, and Canada, as well as wrestling in the US for ISPW, ACPW, ACW, PWX, DTW, and Wrestling for a Cause in 2009, 2010, and 2011. He has also wrestled on various tours of Europe with Irish Whip Wrestling. Vito's tour March 2010 of Nepal makes him the first former ECW, WCW, TNA, WWE superstar to work in that country. There he was involved in a riot involving 4,000 people that made international news and became an internet viral video. February 24, 2011, he returned to defeat the Himalayan Tiger in Kathmandu, Nepal for the Golden Cine professional wrestling show held at the Dasarath Stadium in front of 20,000 people, to become the first ever professional wrestling champion of Nepal. On March 1, 2011, Vito's presence was requested by the U.S. Embassy of Nepal. He was greeted and congratulated by the Counselor of Public Affairs of U.S. Embassy to Nepal, Terry J. White, and staff. On March 12, 2011, he wrestled Bulldog James Dillon, who works for the DDP Yoga Association, at an Atomic Championship Wrestling event and was victorious. He also formed a new tag team with Tate Hammer known as the Skull Von Hammer Brothers, who defeated John Dahmer and Ryan Slater in a tag match at the same event. March 2, 2013, Vito made an appearance in Canada for the ECW Hardcore Road Trip, teaming with Nunzio against Pitbull, Gary Wolf, and Balls. He also faced Al Snow earlier on the card as Skull Von Crush. August 2013, Vito opened a wrestling school in Clearwater, FL, and launched a website, BigVito.com, on September 19, 2013. Vito appeared in Ring Warriors as the leader of the stable, the Slambinos. On September 18, 2013, LoGrasso announced his relationship between his wrestling school and Dragon Gate USA as the Farm Territory. Fall of 2014, Vito continued to wrestle in NY, PA. Vito again appeared with the Ring Warriors in April 2015 as the manager of the Slambinos. This was his first appearance since filing suit against the WWE. LoGrasso did not wrestle at the event. Acting career. LoGrasso had a minor role as Bodo in the science fiction film The Survivor. 2014 returned on screen in a leading role in the horror thriller film The Church, who starred on the side of Clint Howard, Bill Moseley, Lisa Wilcox and Ashley C. Williams. He is also set in the role of Ricardo Lewis in the upcoming action thriller film Apnea, who also will work besides his acting as stunt coordinator. Personal life. Vito married former wrestling personality and model Noel Harlow LoGrasso on September 27, 2014, according to Jerick.net. They previously worked together in the US, where she was billed as Lil Noel, as a play on his Big Vito name. July 2012, Vito has joined the fight to save the PA 771 ROTC in Coatesville, PA. He helped raise money and awareness of the local program that does over 400 hours of community service per year. It was announced in August 2012 the program was saved. On March 6, 2014, it was reported that Vito was injured in a mishap and had to be rushed into emergency surgery. He was released from a Florida hospital several days later. LoGrasso filed a class action lawsuit against WWE in January 2015 with former WWE developmental star Adam Mercer in Pennsylvania. LoGrasso claims that he suffers from serious neurological damage. Chief complaint being deafness as a result of concussions sustained while wrestling for WWE. In wrestling. Finishing moves Code of Silence Luca Brasier Dress Code 2006. Signature moves Corner Slingshot Splash Delayed Vertical Suplex Diving Elbow Drop Japanese Arm Drag Savate Kick with Theatrics Swinging Neck Breaker with Johnny the Bull Double Team. Finishing moves Catching Hip Toss into a Sky Lift Slam. Manages Disco Inferno Glenn Gilbert Tony Marinara Noel Harlow. Nicknames Knuckles. Entrance themes Speak Softly Love WCW Snap Your Fingers, Snap Your Neck by Prong ECW King of the Streets by Boner ECW Hardest Stone A by Jim Johnston WWE No Sleep Till Brooklyn by Beastie Boys WWE Championships and Accomplishments Atomic Championship Wrestling ACW Tri-State Championship American Championship Pro Wrestling ACPW Heavyweight Championship Big Time Wrestling BTW Heavyweight Championship Deep South Wrestling Deep South Heavyweight Championship European Wrestling Promotion Iron Man Hardcore Knockout Tournament Golden Cine Professional Wrestling Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship of Nepal International Wrestling Association IWA Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship Midwest Championship Wrestling Alliance MCWA Tag Team Championship with Helmut Hessler United States Extreme Wrestling UXW United States Championship World Championship Wrestling WCW Hardcore Championship won jointly with Johnny the Bull WCW World Tag Team Championship with Johnny the Bull